The wheels are spinning. It tells me we are live right now.
Yes.
Welcome everybody to the July mid-month Outturn preview tasting. Joining me, Scott. Of course, I'm Scott. If you don't know who I am,
I'm Bart.
Oh, hold on just a second. I knew that one was going to happen. There we go. That is not Bart, but they do look kind of similar, I suppose. But from Austin, Texas, from Whiskey Tribe, Whiskey Vault, Wizard Academy, GQ's Man of the Year, probably upcoming. Daniel Whittington, go ahead. I'm sure most people know you. Give a little introduction. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, yeah, as you know, I'm from a whiskey marketing school in Wizard Academy in Austin, Texas. Also part of Whiskey Vault and Whiskey Tribe, the two YouTube channels that sometimes talk about whiskey.
Yeah, do good talk about whiskey, funny talk about whiskey, just good comedy, good mix, good times.
Yep.
But you guys, we was talking before we went live. You had started with, the Wizard Academy, and then the Whiskey School. You added on to that.
Yep.
And then a YouTube channel, and then another YouTube channel,
and a distillery,
and then a distillery.
Yeah. That was.
You've been the president of the Texas Whiskey Association as well on that board.
Yeah, so since January.
Thanks for making the time to join me.
Who knew? Who knew? I don't know that I really thought that trajectory through.
Right.
Yeah, you can see it on my beard, though. Go back 4 years ago and look at the color of my beard. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. I think we tack stuff on sometimes, and then before we know it, we realize what we've done, and we're all getting too deep.
You look back, oh, that was a mistake.
Maybe we could have changed some stuff up there, but no. Anyway, yeah, thanks for making time for Discussion Malt Whiskey Society. It's always a blast having you on. You're always very knowledgeable. You've got a great palate, and I look forward. We've got 5 whiskeys to get through for the July mid-month Outturn preview tonight.
Now, I haven't even opened my box, so I don't even know what's in it. Okay. But you gave one of them away before we started. I don't know which one because I was trying not to listen to the.
You would know it by the distillery number, I'm sure. So.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But let me go through a little bit of a roll call here. Let's see who all is tuning in. Uncle Nate Drinks Whiskey was the first one in and commenting. Kilco Whiskey Musings. Peter Schumacher, Northwoods Whiskey Nerds, Warren Buff, Joe Combs II, Daniel Whittington, in commenting. Peter Schumacher, I think I said, Tom R, Big Ed, Important Whiskies, KLG 223, Robert G, Jonathan Hopwood, Duke McHale, Stephen Jones, Castillo Montoya, Evan Stevens, Paul Cleveland, Multicaskin, John Coling, Sean Peak, Joe Hunt, Mamuka 1977, Greg J, Praveen Mahida. I've talked to Praveen several times on the phone. Good to see you tuning in and commenting. And Eric Waite Whiskey Studies from out in California. Nice. Brian Staples just commenting. Good crowd tonight.
Yeah, fun group.
Let's start reaching your box and look for one with a blue top.
Okay. Oh, mine are all sealed. Hang on. Here we go. Oh no, the blue top is part of the seal. Is it this one? Summer Garden Curiosity?
That's it.
All right. 63. I do not know that one by memory.
This one, 8-year-old Speyside in the juicy oak and vanilla profile. Cast type is a first fill ex-bourbon barrel, 61.9% ABV.
Ouch.
Yeah, we got a couple of heavy hitters in here tonight, so small sips.
Tasting notes are, I'll save that one for our own. I always love the write-ups. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I always like to go through and give our own tasting notes first and then see what we get and then go read the.
And then we describe how wrong they are.
Yeah.
Notes. Yeah.
You're
like, those guys at SNWS knew what they were doing.
You're like, wow, I didn't get wasabi peanuts at all.
Yeah. Oh, that's just a nice, like a dense, perfumey kind of Speyside, I'm guessing, yeah?
Yeah. Yep. Nice. A lot of citrus, a little bit of a lot of citrus, a lot of fruits, a little bit of vanilla, not near as much vanilla as I get on some of our juicy oak and vanillas, oaks.
Very musty.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a bite, a little bit of almost a spice note on the nose. A little bit of a damp wood, damp oak.
Yeah, that's what I'm smelling. I'm smelling that damp earth kind of note, which is it's back there. It's buried by all the things that you said first, which are very dominant. That fruit and the honey and the cream. That smells really nice. I'm not a huge I used to not really give a crap about space sides. I just got bored. And then there was one time I took a break off from and after I've been just immersed in smoky whiskeys, I took a break off from drinking for a good chunk and came back. And all of a sudden I started finding all of these weird, interesting things in space sides that I hadn't picked up on before. And now I kind of like that.
Yeah. Yep. That's got a little nuttiness as well underneath everything else.
I haven't made it that far yet.
Ooh. This one was pretty impressive. I've already previewed these and shot some of my reviews of them, but for an 8-year,
you're coming in this thing educated.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. I see how it is. All right, let's try this.
Yeah, let's get in on it. Cheers.
Oh, I like it. There is a almost tangy note at the end of that. That keeps it from just being a pure, simple sugar bomb. And there is a lot of that barley, that earthy, musty barley that I get in Space Sides, where it feels like the grain. How old is this? 8? Yeah, it feels like the grain is standing up, like still present.
Yeah,
right.
Really rich though. I mean, a lot of fruit on the palate, and I think it'll start to turn a little bit tropical here. But even that kind of tartness, sour, almost like starburst, sour starburst candies, and a little bit of the tropical side notes in there.
Yeah, very fruity. I might have guessed that this was somewhere. I don't know. I don't know that I guess, because the space sides that really stand out to me are always the ones that have like a little bit of pepper and zest. And this doesn't have that once you taste it. What was coming across as that peppery zest is now presenting in the palate as like an earthy note and like a grain note. So I think I don't even have. I mean, space side is the closest I would guess, but I don't even have a guess on what that would be.
I've had a couple of sherry bombs from this distillery where they've been, I believe, just exclusively matured in sherry casks, and it's always been a great combination. This may be the first one I've had that wasn't sherry cask.
Is that you mean an SMWS bottle?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So is this a distillery that's unlikely to be grabbed at retail?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one of their like random outlier.
Yeah.
Like not like Glen Turret, but like some of those kinds of really obscure. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I still, even from that first sip though, or second small sip, still a lot of kind of lemon curd now. Vanilla, or kind of like a banana cream pie with a little bit of lemon rind on it.
I can't get past how musty and perfumey this one is in the nose. I feel like I'm gonna add a little water to mine. Is that what you're doing?
Yep, I just added a drop.
Bloop. That was my water sound effect. In case you were wondering.
Woo. Yeah, Michael Sauter says this club has made me love Speyside.
Oh, that simplified it, and I don't like it as much.
Oh,
it got it accented the sweetness and buried the earth a little. You know what I mean? And I liked the earthiness. It made it interesting. Now it's just like really sugary lemon icing, kind of like pound cake-y.
Now, see, I like it with the water because of that, it took away some of the maltiness, brought in more of that sweetness, and yeah, it's really expanded, opening up. But yeah, I can see where it took away. If you like that note at first,
yeah.
probably.
It pushed the fruit cream bowl to the top.
Yeah,
but I like that buried a little. Well, that's cool. I do like the idea. Okay, so here's what they said: juicy, fruity, and refreshing with tropical bubblegum, cherry Bakewell pear slices, and rhubarb and custard sweets, nutmeg and oak finish.
Well, rhubarb, that's probably where you're getting kind of your earthiness, or more of that,
that
little bit of meatiness maybe that you were getting. The rhubarb.
All I can think of is bebop or rebop or rhubarb pie.
Still, though, a lot of people may look at this and think, it's an 8-year-old whiskey, bypass it. And this one will be $105, 61.9%. It's a great whiskey.
Yeah.
And I don't think blind I would ever think this was 8 years old.
Oh, no. It's got more to it than that.
Yeah.
It's not until you sort of live with it a while that the grain starts to come through.
I would probably guess 10 to 12 years old blind on this one, but yeah. It's got a great palate on 8-year-old first fill ex-bourbon barrel. So pretty active barrel, I bet, and picked up quite a few notes from that.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to switch that up because the water sort of flattened it out for me a little bit.
You can always pour more in it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Not when we have 5 of them that we go through.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't. Should probably move on, huh?
Let me take a little bite here too for a little palate cleanser. This one was kind of a mix up as well for next, but we have an 11-year-old spicy and dry. We'll go with next. Look for your khaki label.
All right. 113.
Staying in Speyside. Yep. Go ahead if you want to introduce it. Read the label.
Oh yeah. So we've got Orchards in the Sun. Another Speyside. Another bourbon barrel. So that dominant vanilla profile is probably going to come through. Ringing an 11. And what you say the tan is there spicy and dry?
Spicy and dry. Yep.
Okay. That sounds more up my alley. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and going from an 8-year to an 11-year-old first fill ex-bourbon barrel again.
There are certain things in life where I try as much as possible to stay like I don't know, I just enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And actually the SNWS ones, I've tried to like just drink them and see what I think. But I probably have, 50 to 70 bottles downstairs. But I still don't know the color profiles of what.
Some people will order kind of strictly from they'll get their favorite flavor profile. We have 12.
Yeah.
And some people, where this is spicy and dry. To me, this one's kind of a sleeper category. It's not real popular, but some of these are just outstanding whiskeys. But,
wow.
Some people may get onto spicy and sweet, spicy and dry, deep, rich, and dried fruits, and they kind of stick in that profile, which is fine. We encourage those people to branch out, try the different ones, different regions, different profiles, and things like that. But
I think I tend to just buy the packs, right? Like groupings, because then I get to explore things I wouldn't have guessed. Unless I spot there's a couple distilleries that I know the number by heart. And if I see those, I tend to jump.
Right.
But yeah. So when I first picked this up, I got oiled wood. I like damp oiled wood on the nose.
Yeah.
Right. But now it's starting to open a little.
Important Whiskey says spicy and dry is quickly becoming my favorite profile.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
That's almost like, there's some wood polish in there. But it's almost, when you said wood, I just had a waxing a boat came to mind. If you were waxing a wood boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a little oily. Nice spices, though, too.
Man, I'm having a harder time finding the spices than you are right now. I wonder if there's something in my nose.
It's later in the day. Could be something. Could be you probably have some beard.
Yeah.
Eric Waite says, Daniel Whittington and Scott, the most important thing is to pick a color of a bottle that goes well with the color of your shirt.
That's why I wear black V-necks, because I can get any bottle.
There you go. Uncle Nate said he saw Rex looking through the window behind you.
He's going to have to be 30 feet tall. I'm upstairs. Okay, I'm going to try it.
All right, go ahead. Yep. A little bit of a toasted honeycomb on there as well on the nose.
This one has that really strong bourbon vanilla impact. You know what I mean? Like, this is a vanilla explosion.
Ooh. Wow. A little bit of burn set in there on this one.
Yeah, I just went strong vanilla cream and then bitey. Which maybe that's the spice. I
actually got, and I can remember my notes when I reviewed it, like a lemon tart with cracked black pepper on top.
On the palate?
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Maybe a honey drizzle on it. But yeah, there's a little bit of a lemon tart, lemon pastry, honeyed, and then cracked black pepper.
There's a really nice peppery finish to this. I get that for sure. That ending, like, it's still definitely grain, like earthy pepper, but that vanilla bomb is just taking over everything. I'm going to go straight to water on this one, but definitely dry and spicy. I buy both of those. And I'm not picking up anything on this as far as distillery other than generic Speyside vanilla bomb.
But this one, I mean, this is great. This one has a great palate neat. I'm going to add water just because I always do. Okay. This one is really, that spicy and dry profile on this one it's all over the tail end. I mean, it's still soaked in. I can still feel fresh cracked black pepper just running down my throat.
Yeah. And yeah, it does linger very oily. I feel like I'm getting more as it sits, it gets more and more dry. I just saw your comment you just put up. One can only dream. Water makes this one better. It leaves the pepper. It takes that vanilla cream and sort of softens it into barley and earth, but sweetness. I like it better with water.
I would actually change up to a little bit of a strawberry pie almost now with water. It almost got a little bit more non-citrusy and more darker, more berryish.
Yeah, so this man, both of these, I don't know who owns them, but they've got to be in blends. They've got to be in blends because these are just like trademark classic malt base, right? Or like if you're looking for something to like round out a grain into like a classic blended scotch, both of these are not outliers. They're not going off in weird directions. They're just middle of home plate, Speyside single malt. No weird variances. So I would bet that is this another unheard of one, like a rare?
Yeah.
One? Okay.
Yeah, this is, yeah. And I've only had 2 other bottles from this distillery. And the first one that I had is from a separate independent bottler that released a whiskey from this distillery. And then probably February or March, I believe we released another one from this distillery. That's the only 2 bottles that I've had. And it's not one that they don't have core range bottlings. You don't find them in a whiskey shop on a shelf. So
yeah, I bet a lot of this goes into, your blends, your Dewar's, your Chivas, your, things like that. Because I would blend with these all day long because nothing would fight with it. It would you could really bring out an accent, whatever the hell you wanted.
Yeah. I just added another drop of water just to see.
Matter of fact.
That's what I do at the end of the night. I take all my leftovers and.
Let's see what a 2 distilleries blended Speyside tastes like. Oh, it bumped up the phenolic notes on the second one.
2 drops of water in mine here. I like this one neat. I liked it with 1 round of water. 2 drops of water here. It's getting a little too far down, but neat, and with 1 drop really good. 62.4% ABV. But yeah, I mean, there's some I just got a little tobacco, a dried tobacco, almost like a
you offer the dried tobacco?
Cigar. Like if you had an old dried out cigar, almost like.
Oh, okay.
The ones that you light up and it just goes woof.
Yeah. Yeah, the blend of the 2 is really nice. Yeah. All right, so they say in Orchards in the Sun, they say a bright sunny dram, lemon, flowers, candy floss, and oiled pine. The finish combined oak chips and hot lemon with pickled ginger and wasabi. I think the pickled ginger and wasabi is a bit of a stretch, but I could agree with everything else on that.
I could see, I mean, trending towards the wasabi just with the spiciness, and there is a little bit of a herbal, vegetal note in there a little bit.
Yeah. That's where I get that sort of like I always find that sort of it's vegetal, but I call that in Scotch like the grain forward. I always get that in Speysides. I almost never get it in Highlands, even of the same ages. Something about the Speyside bottlings, they always have that grain punch until you get sherry casks.
But they did have oiled pine. You called out an oiled wood.
Or wet damp wood or oiled wood.
And we had lemon and flowers and hot lemon with pickled ginger. I mean, I got the lemon tart with like fresh cracked black pepper on it.
Right.
So we're not too far off.
Oh, Eric asked what song or band would I compare this to? This is Coldplay when they try to play edgy.
You want to just go Pearl Jam?
No, Pearl Jam's too actual rock. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I like Coldplay, but yeah, this is soft and approachable, and yeah.
There was a movie quote one time with it was Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen, maybe, I think, about Coldplay. I'll have to tell you when we're not live.
Yeah, probably. If it involves Seth Rogen, it's definitely not a.
I'm pretty sure that was the 2. Daniel Duggar says this chat smells of magnificent bastards.
Yeah. Hey, Joe Van Name is here. Hey, Joe. There you are. How are you doing?
Sorry, late to the party. Hey, you're never late. A wizard arrives exactly
whenever the hell he wants. Yeah. What's our
all right, the purple label next. And I had somebody commented a little bit ago that spicy and sweet was their favorite profile. That's what we're going to move on to here.
That's not the right one. Hang on a second.
And we're still in Speyside. 3 Speysides in a row.
Oh, I know what this is.
The precious.
Hey, Joe, speaking of Joe Van Name, Joe, look at that. So every time this distillery shows up in SMWS, Joe Van Name brings me a bottle.
Oh.
Every time. Because it's one of my favorite distilleries in the world for personal and kind of private reasons.
Well, Joe, even though Daniel now has a bottle, it kind of sounds like you're still required to bring him one.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to be looking for, this is a 17-year-old version of one of my preferred Speysides. One of the only ones that made me kind of respect Speyside.
Oh.
And what I loved in the one that I fell in love with was that sort of rich, earthy vanilla that made way to this just zesty black pepper explosion, and then sort of trickled and trailed off in a light oil finish. And yeah.
Rudy is referencing the movie quote that I had. He's right on, spot on, Rudy. Did you see it?
Yeah. I think I remember some random YouTube of that. General direction of humor.
All right, so yeah, 7.270 perfect posture, 17-year-old Speyside, 59.1%, still up there in that ABV. Second fill ex bourbon barrel on this one. Now,
this is way more grain forward than
I had so many berries and fruits just punch me in the nose on this one. Oh,
yeah, it's there, but it's all really well. Like nothing is dominating here, and I would almost call this nose soft, but it's got a lot going on. It's not muted, right?
Yeah,
gentle.
Probably compared, from like the spicy and dry coming into the spicy and sweet. I think it is toned down a little bit. There's a lot more fruit on this one. I'm even getting a little bit of more of a citrus. I'm getting some berries and a fruit basket kind of, but also some lighter fruits in there with it now as well on the tail end, just on the nose, and nice cinnamons, nice nutmegs.
I'm so absorbed in the nose, I'm having a hard time verbalizing.
That's fine.
I'm just trying to.
Nice oak. Yeah. Woo. And I think this is one, being 17 years old, as it gets air, this is going to be one that really opens up and will just start to evolve, and you'll just get different notes on you could sit down with for, an hour.
I'm starting to get like a toasted coconut kind of note.
Yeah.
Like a macaron.
Tom R wants a little clarification. He's saying when you say grain, do you mean malt?
Yes.
That's kind of what I was taking. I mean, these are single malts.
What I mean is the base grain that makes up the spirit is still there. So when you're distilling, and you're getting cuts off the still, right in the heart of it, you'll get all those really beautiful fruit and vanilla notes that you're or fruit notes that can make it all the way through with the barrel. But really the dominant nose you have to live with when you're distilling is this really grain, whatever grain you're using, be it corn, rye, malt, that the grain is center stage and it's hefty and it's rich, And what I find is in any whiskey that's young, and young doesn't mean between 1 and 3. Young means the climate hasn't aged it out yet. And so in Scotland, it's usually for me between 1 and 10. But in the US, in Kentucky, it could be 2 or 3. In Texas, it could be 1 or 2, But it's where the new make, the grain forward smell is still dominant and still in charge. So when I say these Speysides are grain forward, I mean they're barley centric. The barley, you can smell the grain. You're not just smelling the barrel and the finish and the age impact. You're still smelling very strongly what the barley brought to the table before the barrel touched it.
Mamuka is asking, what is the best SMWS subscription? We don't have different tiers. We don't have anything like that. We have one membership. You buy your membership. They're all the same. So, but no, yeah. All right. Get on this one.
There it is. So it's a vanilla, but it's a different kind of vanilla than the other one that we just had. It's not just pure vanilla icing and sugar. It's this kind of like if they had said this had ginger, I would have bought it, right? It's this zesty, peppery, earthy vanilla.
Almost more than just like the vanilla plant, and not vanilla extract or vanilla cream, anything like that. The vanilla plant, the true source of vanilla.
Yeah.
But yeah, still to me, it's very fruit forward here, but darker. I mean, berries, still a little bit of citrus blended in there with it. Nice spices, beautiful palate overall, very rich.
So, do you know the early history of SMWS?
As far as,
well, so we know they all started as a club, right?
1983, I think it was.
Yeah. And, and then they started realizing, hey, we could like band together and like pick some whiskeys ourselves and have them bottled. And we could drink what we wanted to drink. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
This is a question. This is my memory of it. And then that grew, and that's the numbers are the distilleries they bottled in order of the first one to most recent.
Right.
I wonder how long between, hey, this would be cool, maybe a distillery will give us a barrel for our own purposes, to when they called, people were like, shit, SMWS is calling. This is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like you remember the story of when Kurt Cobain when Weird Al covered Nirvana, and then someone was like to Kurt, hey, what do you think about Weird Al making fun of your songs? And he was like, that's when I knew I made it. Like, I'm just curious, as someone who's regularly trying to track down barrels from other distilleries, what was the timeline between like, hey, maybe this is a cool idea, maybe we can convince some distilleries to sell us a barrel, versus SMWS calls and everyone on the other end is like, guys, it's SMWS.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question.
I don't know what that is.
But yeah, I do think it's neat how it started, and that was Pip Hills and his buddies. They went to, distillery number one, and they said, hey, we want to buy a cask of whiskey, just for us. And that was kind of out of the character, kind of oddball, and whatnot. And so, they sold them a barrel, and they went back and they shared it and with some buddies. And then next I said to the buddy, said, hey, next time you do that, we want to get in on that with you. And it just grew from there. Yeah. So I don't know if you know what we have over the SMWS now worldwide is over 30,000 members. So it's become a huge, huge society. Wow. It's awesome. So
I'm going to add a little water, even though I'm risking that really rich, earthy, peppery note.
I added a drop already. I haven't tasted it yet with the water. The good thing is, I mean, you can always add more if you don't like it with the water, you can always add more whiskey to it, or toss it out and pour some more neat.
Yeah, maybe toss it out.
The berries, to me, still the berry tarts and the berry pastries. Even, I mean, you can taste the croissant, the berries on the croissant on this one, if you ask me. A little bit of toasted honey on it, nice vanillas like you brought up.
For me, this is in Texas, we have kolaches, right, which is a Czech
West Texas.
Yeah, and it's all about that like fruit filled center and that rich buttery pastry surround. And yeah.
No, very nice. Even I don't think water hurt this one at all, and I say that a lot. Some people somebody's gonna comment about it.
But I liked it better without water.
There we go. So now you know.
Yeah. Okay. So for my own purposes.
See, I still think personally for me, my sweet spot is around 55% ABV, I think, between 50 and 55%. Some whiskeys I do like neat, but it's just, to me, it just all those flavors are just so compacted in there. They're just waiting to be, let out, unleashed a little bit with a little bit of water. But
I told you about my S&WS hieroglyphics, didn't I?
I don't remember.
So my dad, my girlfriend, and I, we mark our S&WS bottles with hieroglyphics that tell us, like, when we come back to it, what we thought about that bottle with like small little hieroglyphic marks. So you can't really see that without the reflection. There we go. And so they're all my bottles. There are these like cave drawing looking hieroglyphic marks. Each one means something different. Like, yes, we liked it. This person preferred it with water, but this person didn't. This one was outright nobody liked it. This was didn't like it, but did like it with water, or you know what I mean? It's all those combinations. So I can go into the bottles in my house and grab one and be like, oh, this one add water.
Yeah, that's good. But you could see a change, though. You could mark something, you know, like you just cracked that one open tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So as that one sits on the shelf, though, in 6 months,
who knows? Might adjust the doodle.
That's why doodle might not be irrelevant.
That's why you do it in pencil. We're not being graded here, Scott. We can change our answers.
Yeah, no, this one is beautiful. It's very nice. And I think even with time, and to me, I like this one with a little bit of water, but I think with time, even, I think this one's going to evolve and it's going to get, it's going to oxidize. It's going to get even better. And more of that Distillery 7 character that you love is really just going to really reveal itself.
Oh, yeah, that's a sweet spot for sure. By the way, if you hear background, my boys are currently running around the house doing who knows.
Ooh, yeah, very nice. And nice spiciness and stuff. Oh, let's do our tasting.
Oh, yeah, wait. Playful complexity wound around a rigid, perfectly poised, malty backbone. The perfect balance of fruits, spices, oils, and cereals. A delight.
Very nice. Indeed. All right.
That's going to be my contribution to the SMWS audiobook recording.
All right. Now, one we don't bring very often. A flavor profile. Old and dignified.
Wait, G5, doesn't that mean grain?
Yep. This is a grain whiskey, G5.15.
Oh, but it's a Highland. I was going to guess like a Girthin or a Cameron Bridge, or let's see, who are the Highlands that you guys do? They don't want us to say that on these, do we?
I can't say it. If you want to guess and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I won't know on the taste because I don't have a ton of experience with grains. But if it's a Highland, I only know two from memory, and that's Loch Lomond and Invergordon. And those are the only ones that I have from memory. But I couldn't tell you what either of those tastes like at all. I did try a Loch Lomond grain the other day, and I was actually on a random whiskey Zoom with some friends, and they pulled out the Loch Lomond S&WS. Nice. And I think that was G7. Oh. No, that was Girvan. Anyway, no, I can't remember now.
You've mentioned this distillery. If you didn't earlier, or if you didn't now, you did earlier. But yeah, yes, you've hit this one. But
so, 33-year-old grain whiskey, and look at the color on that. That's insane.
So
piece of paper here.
Ex-bourbon hogshead, and then a second fill ex-wine barrique. I believe our tasting notes on the website. Yeah, let me see.
So light.
Well, actually, yeah, I thought mine looked a little darker.
Well, yours, you have a better camera than I do.
Oh. And let me look real quick. I believe this was 28 years in the ex-bourbon hogshead and 5 years in the second fill. And I believe our website is going to say a second fill ex-white wine barrique.
Whoa.
That's not on the label, but.
This is very sweet and perfumey smelling. This is. Yeah, this smells like an oak-aged wine, like a really oaky wine, right? Obviously not with the proof, but.
Yeah, this was 28 years in the ex-bourbon hogshead, 5 years in the second fill ex-white wine barrique. So, but to me, right on the nose, I just got old books. I mean, it's that smell with, old whiskeys.
Yeah, going into a used bookstore.
Yeah. It's leather and it's old books. It's dunnage. I mean, it's dirt.
I'm looking for everything that I thought I would find in a grain, and I'm not finding it in this at all. If you had told me this was a grain, I don't know that I would have picked that out on the nose.
Right.
I would have thought a really young wine cask Speyside.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. Furniture polish on that old wood. You're dusting using furniture polish in the library with the old books. Oh, wow.
That's soft and buttery and pear even.
So it's definitely tangier and a little darker than I had expected. Yeah. Some you get to that 30 year and some grain whiskeys and they're lighter, more tropical notes, fruitier, things like that. This one is definitely more that 33-year-old, to me, almost like single maltish nose where it's just oak, and books and leather.
I like it. I'm trying to sip. There it is. There's the grain. Bing. Little it's like all the flavors are in an icing. You know what I mean? It's like you took all the various flavors and you made a cake icing out of it. And that's that sort of metallic aluminum type icing note. I always get that in grain, no matter how many times the wine cask has been
really
good.
See, I need to try some side by side with and without just to see. I don't know that I get an aluminum note.
It's only on the end.
This one still feels old books, leather, malty, oak, little tobacco, pipe tobacco.
Yeah, that aluminum is in the aftertaste. It's in the long finish. Instead of being this like buttery hanging on, it's this sort of a metallic note. But it takes forever to get there. Other than that, it's just this densely rich dessert wine. Almost Eric Waits in the chat. Eric, what's that really pretty common white dessert wine? It's not I feel like it's an M and my brain is freezing. Muscatello, maybe, but I don't know if that's what I'm. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. But this is like super creamy, buttery dessert wine sugar. Yeah, I was thinking Muscat or Muscat.
Yeah, I was thinking that's what he says. A couple people say, yeah.
I was thinking Muscat. You know what could be ice wine? Actually, have you ever had ice wine?
I've had a sample of Glenfiddich that had the ice
wine finish. Yeah,
ice wine finish.
Ice wine itself is, it's an acquired taste, but it's actually kind of nice. But it's definitely in this vein. Eric Evanson, that's a cool question. Why is grain whiskey always sweeter than malt? I don't think it is, but I think what happens is, so this is a small story time. We were having a conversation a year or two ago where we were discovering that a lower proof whiskey tasted more ethanol forward and a higher proof whiskey didn't, right? We were doing these variations of proof and discovering that the really high proof had a soft ethanol and the really bitey ethanol was in the lower proofs. And our theory was when you proof it down, you release all these heavy oil congeners that are being held bound together by the ethanol. And so you simplify the flavor profiles that are left, but ethanol is always still there. And so basically, you're not increasing the ethanol, but you're clearing the forest out a little. And one of the only things standing is ethanol, right? So it tastes more ethanol forward. I find that with grain whiskey, I find the same thing, that column still spirits have less things. And the sweetness that's common in all grain, and it's not sugar, but it's a perception of sweetness. Because there's less things happening in a column spirit, it stands out. Whereas in a malt, there's more things happening, and the sugar can be buried a little. Sometimes it can be the grain, and especially in America, column's always corn, or almost always corn, and that can be sweeter too, for sure. And oh wait, hey, Wait said that. Yeah, if you think the grain is corn, it can come across as sweeter. I think so, but I also think that I've found all barley column still to taste sweeter than all barley pot still. And I think it's just a simplification of the flavor profile, leaving that standing as one of the main things. I haven't added water yet. Did you add water?
I did. Yep. Right now. And I will tell you, so 33-year-old though, this one is going to be $315 tomorrow. I mean, it's still, this has, you're pointing out some of those grain notes on the back end, but to me, there's a lot of characteristics of a 33-year-old single malt in this as well. But it's for $315. I mean, I don't know that you'll find a 33-year-old
for $300
for $315. Yeah, exactly. If you want an older whiskey at a reasonable price, I mean, this is definitely it. You do get some of that. Definitely the old books, the leather, just that stuff that comes out with the older single malts. And someone said Riesling a little bit ago, which it's been several years, and I have had Riesling in the past, and this almost that struck a note, I think, in my mind here on this finish.
I really like how sweet the kind of sweetness that's in this grain. Water
didn't hurt it. I don't know if it helped it.
Definitely didn't add.
It's a gray area there on that one, but I think I liked it neat. Still a lot of notes, a lot of the same similar notes here and stuff going on.
I'm gonna re-pour just a neat pour just real quick on that, because I liked it. I was getting way more out of it when it was not water added.
How do you feel? Tom R is asking, how do you think your describe how your whiskey analysis skills changed going from a consumer to a creator?
It's not just, I mean, it's anybody who understands or has experienced the levels of creation. So if you've really done good tours and gotten to try the new make and stuff like that, that'll help. All that's changed is I feel like I have a better understanding of where what I'm smelling and tasting is coming from, as opposed to just smelling and tasting it. That's really the only thing that's changed.
No, I like it. I think and like I say, for a 33-year-old and $315, if you want to have an old whiskey on your shelf and you got it at a reasonable price, this is definitely it. But as more people are even talking about, and Mamuka says green whiskeys always have that metallic sugar.
Yeah, grain. Yeah,
I'm almost getting it now. I don't know if it's just suggestion or what.
Probably, yeah. We're tasting grain. Ooh, these are not the droids you are looking for.
That's why it's the Wizards Academy.
I just repeat my tasting notes until everyone in the room is tasting. Just relentless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like the tide, Scott.
Very nice, but I'll tell you, I had a different mindset when I went into this thing in 33-year-old grain whiskey, that it was going to be kind of more that lighter tropical fruitiness you get with some of them.
It's dense and
it's oily. It is old, but I do see kind of what you're talking about, on the tail end with it. But yeah, overall, it's delicious.
Yeah. All right, uno más.
Time for the last whiskey of the night.
Oh, finally, a smoky whiskey. Oh, I think I know which one this one was, because Because I think, yeah, this is the one that you gave away, isn't it?
You would know it from the label or from the distillery
number because it's
probably.
so early on.
Yeah.
The only ones that I have memorized are My Preferred, Longmorn, and Lafroig. The others, I might recall it. Like, oh, yeah, I've seen that one a few times.
Yep. Anyway, 10-year-old Highland Island.
Yeah.
Ex-bourbon hogshead, and then it was transferred to a first fill ex-bourbon barrel, 4.291 smoked condiments. This was part of the batch where they combined them and then recast them.
What was there any particular reason for that? Just as a curiosity?
That I do not know.
We've done that a lot at our distillery when we've been trying to fix something. We'll dump, proof down, rebarrel, proof down in barrel. We've taken small barrels, and then when the tannins are starting to get too strong, but it's not yet ready, it's too grainy and young, we'll dump them and put them into a bigger barrel to see if we can buy more time. I'm interested to know because it definitely smells. It definitely smells woody, like a damp ship, right?
Oh, well, did you say ship?
Ship.
Okay.
Ship with a P. Yeah.
Making sure. And I was trying to get it to focus here a little bit. It's got a nice color to it for a 10-year-old, probably from the hogshead.
This is punchy, man. That proof is high. What did you say it was? 63? Good Lord.
63%.
You can smell it on this one. It's standing up.
Wow. But I mean, yeah, peat. And I think a lot of that, most of what we see from Distillery 4 are lightly peated. This is definitely, there's good peat on the nose on this one. Good peated.
Yeah, but honey is coming across as like seaweed, like smoked seaweed.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you know what? Real quick. I don't know if we read the tasting notes on the.
Oh, crap. Yeah. Well, you know why? You know why we didn't, Scott? Because they were pathetic.
They did. I don't think they have much on there, do they?
The tasting notes on the 33-year-old grain whiskey said mature beyond its years, which is, I mean, that's a cliche. Let's be honest. Oh, wise beyond your years. Gorgeous and deeply alluring dram. Basically, what they said was, it's pretty.
Age with grace, hence the name.
Pretty, and it's older than it says it is. Come on. Somebody phoned that one in for a 33-year-old grain whiskey. Maybe they pawn off the grain whiskey tasting notes on the noobs. Or maybe it came at the end of a day when they were all over it and they're like, fuck it, it's wise beyond its years. Boring.
Uncle Nate drinks whiskey, says, I almost spit out my no-name number 2 when Daniel said ship.
Yeah, damn ship. Yeah.
I see Zach Andrews is tuning in and commenting. I hadn't seen him before. I don't know how long you've been here, Zach. Little maritime, little vegetal, nice peat, honeycomb.
Yeah, it's very still got that bourbon cask sweetness, right?
Yeah, very much. And yeah, almost.
Oh, hey, this might be my favorite palate of the 5. This has all of that rich, earthy vanilla that we found on number 7, the 7 cask. Or 7, warehouse, and but it adds that sort of and the peat's not dominating. That if it's peated, it's very, very, very lightly peated.
I think it's on the palate. It's in between the lightly peated and the peated. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of toasted notes in here, but it's really rich. There's other sweetness and stuff going on with this one as well.
There's a lot of complexity.
Yeah. A lot of lighter citrus sweetness, but then honeyed sweetness, powdered sugar sweetness, nice oaks, nice peat, nice earthiness, nice saltiness. Just a nice palate overall.
Yeah. I'm going to add a little bit of water to this, but I'm afraid it's going to ruin it. But I just got to think that 63, there's something else to find there. You know what I mean? I mean, that's hot.
Oh, yeah.
I can feel it.
Woo.
Even after everything we've been drinking, I can feel that.
Yeah.
Crawling down my throat.
A little bit of a mintiness, almost eucalyptus here as well. Menthol.
I could easily see mint. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Peppery, sweet. Now, this is a little bit of everything. Nice fruits, nice spice.
You know, I don't know that I would have guessed that this is the distillery that it was. I think I would have picked this to be one of the Western Islands if I had to guess, right? I don't know that I would have guessed Orkney.
Right.
I might have. The honey is a little bit too much for Isla. I don't know of any Isla that presents with this level of honey density with the smoke.
Good point. Good point.
But it could have been like a really bourbon forward Talisker.
Huh.
But it's not salty enough.
Great palate. I haven't tasted this with water yet, but the palate overall is just, I mean, so it's really coating. The finish is great on this one. It's long. Everything is digging in, all those spices, all those sweetness, fruits and sugars, and the
add water.
All right.
Add water. That one's a winner with water. All of the complexity just exploded in the palate with water.
Yeah, it's opening it up. Definitely became creamier as well.
Yeah.
Take all those notes and add a little marshmallow cream on top, toasted, burnt.
Absolutely toasted marshmallow.
Yeah, you burnt that marshmallow on the campfire and put it all over those notes.
Yeah.
Woo. Rich, toasted honeycomb.
I love it. It's my jam. This was great. That one's good.
Slightly vegetal, slightly earthy. Nice oaks, nice sweetness. Yeah, all around. It brings it all in there.
Yeah, I would let that one ride for a while. I feel like I would pour this and then just sip it over the whole night. Ooh. Just slow roll that. Yeah, that's a clear standout. There wasn't really a weak link. Like none that I just outright didn't prefer. I wasn't sure about what was going to happen with the grain when we got it out of the box, but that stood up too. But this one definitely is a head and shoulders up for me.
Yeah.
For my preferences.
Yeah, very nice. And this one, $115 tomorrow for a 10-year-old, cask strength distillery 4. Great buy.
Yeah, I love that.
Tom is asking if I have a spreadsheet. I don't. This is the 5. There's only 5 whiskeys tomorrow, and we just previewed all 5 of them. So this is it.
So they release tomorrow? What time?
Yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
Okay.
So
what's the fastest something has sold out?
I've seen within 2 hours.
All right, that's pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, just being there since November.
Right.
So what was it we just released a couple weeks last week or 2 weeks ago was 3 hours. But yeah, I mean there's a few things that will.
Is it predictable? Like you're like,
we have a pretty good idea, where there's going to be the demand. So
yeah. Interesting. Someone said 29s take about 5 minutes. What's 29? I don't remember.
That's one that you mentioned a little bit ago.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
33.
I think I recognize that.
33s, 29s, 24s.
Yeah.
And then our American whiskey release as well. Anytime we do a bourbon, a corn whiskey, rye, anything like that, great demand for those. But
yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that was I thought that was it, but I hesitated to say it because all of a sudden I'm doubting.
Yeah. You know what? Ooh, I just got a little key lime pie. Nice little citrus sweetness on the back end. Ooh.
Man, you're finding all kinds of cool shit. I'm gonna come over to your house.
Yeah, that's what it was. Steve Balzac says the double gold from 2021 was gone in. Oh, it was quite minutes, but that one was pretty. It was less than 2 hours, probably around the hour and a half mark, something like that.
Mm. Oh, that's nice. Ooh. With water, that just comes alive, man. I really love that.
I always advocate drink it neat, drink it with a drop of water, drink it with 2 drops of water, find your sweet spot. Some get better, some don't, but always experiment, and try. And I think our whiskeys are being, cask strength, to me, 9 out of 10, handle water pretty well.
Yeah.
It's very rare that, to me, it's like, yeah, that one was just good neat. Because and I think it's palate though as well, because like I say, I think 50 to 55% is kind of my sweet spot where I really like stuff. But I mean, you get some things sometimes you're just like, wow, there's a lot going on there. But water to me really kind of helps open them up and kind of help those flavors just spread their wings and fly.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Well, that's fun, man. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining me. I know you're busy and you got a lot going on. So always good to see you take a little bit of time out of your day to join us.
I've been gifting SMWS bottles. And so like ones that I've bought where I bought the pack, I really loved one. And then there were 2 or 3 that I was like, they're good, but I've got too much whiskey. And so people come over and I'm like, ooh, you would like this one. So I've been sending SMWS bottles all over the world.
Well, so, and we've known each other, we're not good friends, but we, through YouTube, and when you did your first Bastards Ball down there, you invited Bart and I down. And so, we've met a few times. And then last year I was down there and I had retired from my primary profession.
Yeah.
And I was in between jobs, but I knew I was starting with the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. I'd already been hired by them. And last year it was October when we were down there, and I had said, hey, I've retired and I've got something in the works, but don't know what's happening yet. I was kind of keeping it low key. And you were like, well, hey, congratulations on the retirement. Let me go pour you a dram.
Yeah.
And you went and you poured me a SMWS whiskey.
I totally did. I'm an unofficial SMWS rep.
And I want to say it was a 31-year-old.
It was cigar juice.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good one. Yeah, when you brought it up, and I was like, well, that was a strange pick, but well, good goal. Yeah, but no, looking forward. And I know you've got Bastards Ball is you're getting everything in line going for early September of this year.
September 10th. Yeah.
Now I do remember the first one was July or August, and it was
blazing hot.
It was bad.
It was not as hot as this. What we've been experiencing here in Texas for the last month is bullshit. All right. This is a different kind of hot. And it's not okay. What we experienced for the Bastards Ball was like mid-90s, but there's nowhere to hide because it's just stone ground everywhere you walk. That was pretty rough.
Yeah. I told people my prostate was sweating during now.
That's true.
Yeah. But you had moved it. So I think last year it was in October. This year you moved it up to September. Any particular reason why? Or
it'll still be warm, but it won't be this like want to shoot yourself warm.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna have to do like a bunch of temporary pool rentals. Where it's just like random doggy pools like scattered around. People just like sitting in them.
What's the meaning? Why do you have all these pools around? Oh, you're gonna find out.
Yeah, you're gonna. That's funny. Oh yeah, Zach Andrews. That's right. The first year that we were doing it, all the bottles that we sold to people that weren't sealed, the corks were popping out. Like while people walked around, not because they put them in their car, but because it was so hot, they were walking around carrying them in bags and corks were popping out of the top. Yep, that's it. That's one of the first ones.
Still, and it still has the medallion on it as well. It hasn't popped off yet.
A lot of those fell off.
Yep. that one didn't pop, still sealed, and that's from the first. Was that 2019?
Yeah,
no, 2018.
2018.
2018. Sorry, yeah. Yep. And this one was chapter 3.
Oh, that was who was chapter 3's pick? I don't remember who chapter 3's pick was.
We had tasted when we were down there, and that was literally my favorite.
Yeah.
You had 5, didn't you? I think
we
5.
Had 4. We had 4. Chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember who 3 was.
And someone asked earlier if Eleanor was going to be available in liquor stores, but yeah.
No, we're done releasing Eleanor for anything except for the tasting room. One of the main reasons is because it's almost impossible to get MGP bourbon anymore, and that's what Eleanor is MGP bourbon. So,
oh, there we go. Peter Schumacher, he's commenting. He said we had to move the Bastards Ball because it was scheduled for the same weekend as the F1 race.
Yeah. Although in Austin, like, take your pick, man. Any weekend, you're going to conflict with some major event. But yeah, that's a tough one to beat because everything sells out.
Yeah. Well, I think Austin is just getting to be a busy area, and you're probably going to have trouble finding weekends where nothing else is going on.
Yeah, it's not possible.
Right.
Not possible anymore.
Maybe in 2018, but not going forward.
Because there's, even then, yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, hey, let's wrap it up. Daniel, thank you for joining me. And
wait.
Oh, tasting notes.
What?
Do it.
What? Smoked Condiments says a stovetop winter potpourri and smoky linden honey. Single malt from bourbon hogsheads, married in first fill barrel since 2017. See, the second half of that was just technical notes. First half of that was nice. A stovetop winter potpourri and smoky linden honey.
Very nice. Nice about. I'm on 2 rounds of water. Still very nice.
Yeah, that holds up.
And it's time for my closer. Remember, Scotch Malt Whiskey Society whiskeys are not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's on the bottle.
It really is on the bottle.